A new report from the failed crypto exchange FTX's current leadership sheds light on FTX US's president, Brett Harrison, or at least its former president, Brett Harrison, when he resigned in September. Joining us now is CoinDesk Global Policy and Regulation Managing Editor Nick Day, who is also the editor of CoinDesk's absolute must-read State of Crypto newsletter. Happy Monday, Nick.
Hey, good morning.
How are you? So I think you are in a better shape than Brett Harrison was when he was running FTX. So according to this report, from what I see, this thing is it is quite interesting with how they said FTX US was run. And by the way, we should note Brett Harrison himself. You can get it from, you know what, if you want to hear what the man sounds like, you can either watch our archives or you can go to Consensus. He'll be speaking there on Sunday. But he's declined to comment any further on this particular piece. But let's hear what happened in this report. It's shocking, but not shocking, correct?
Yeah, so this is really part of a report that addresses not just FTX US, but the entire FTX umbrella, so also Alameda FTX, and their operations. It's the first comprehensive report, I believe, that was published by John Ray III, who is now the interim CEO, since he took over, and really delves into the alleged mismanagement and issues that plagued the FTX companies. It's not just the concerns that Brett Harrison reportedly raised, including, concerns about how management operated, about the security practices, but also, the report raises concerns about just the entire company, the use of QuickBooks, the lack of two-factor authentication, alleged statements from FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried that they had zero, idea what exactly their books looked like. There's a quote in here that Bankman-Fried allegedly said the company is unauditable, or Alameda at least was unauditable, because they literally had no idea what their actual holdings were. They didn't cash checks. There are just a whole lot of, eyebrow-raising concerns in this report.
This thing looked like it honestly, it was something out of a Mel Brooks movie. I mean, from what it sounded like, they said, quote, and I'm not exactly quoting, but they kind of said that checks were piling up like junk mail.
Right. Exactly.
Uncashed checks. I mean, like, I have that problem, of course, but like, I'm not an exchange, so it's a different story when it takes me a long time to cash in all those checks that I'm allegedly getting. But then there was also this whole thing about two-factor authentication. He's like, you guys should do 2FA, everybody. Oh, that's the best thing in the world. And then yet they're putting their everything in hot wallets and sharing those passwords and everything with everybody, correct?
Right. Yeah. Just, from basic security practices and first principles, there are some very concerning things, alleged in this report. Just the lack of 2FA for things like their Google Suite products. So, what that means is if someone wanted to try and access, their Google Documents or Google Cloud, they might have an easier time of doing it. All they need is the password. They also, we've seen how this could have backfired in the day FTX filed for bankruptcy. Millions of dollars were taken from it, from the exchange. So, that seems to be implied as, being connected to this lack of basic security practices.
Nick, what impact, if any, could this report have on the FTX cases?
So I think part of it is, FTX is currently in the process of being unwound. John J. Ray III is overseeing that. This is kind of a update on how that process is going. It kind of implies that this might be a longer, more drawn out process than the creditors certainly might hope for. If you have a clear understanding of your books and you have exactly what went wrong and where everything is, you can quickly sell off or unwind a company. We're seeing how that happens in other places, but here the implication, I think, is that this is going to be a much longer process.
All right. Thanks so much for that, Nick. I'm pretty sure the entire team will be watching all those court cases very closely. That was CoinDesk Global Policy and Regulation Managing Editor, Nick Day.